honestly, it's sad that they have to keep using this amount of money instead of giving it to exploring other sectors of filmmaking, giving it to people like other filmmakers who could shoot something good with just even less than half of the budget. Because these days the budget Hollywood is crazy, crazy. Okay. So my name is Fiona Worlanyo Ansah. I'm a Ghanaian filmmaker. I would say African filmmaker, and I've been working in the film industry, film and television industry for over a decade now, actually. And I started from Ghana, of course. And initially, the initial stages, I wanted to be an actress. But with the constant auditions that I went for, it was quite a struggle. Not because I wasn't good. I think I was okay. I could have made a blockbuster, but one of the issues that I faced was that most of the directors and the producers wanted to give me the roles in exchange for something, like sexual favors or something else. So for me, the last one that broke the camel's back was I went for this interview, and then the producer tells me, "Oh, well, the director likes you a lot, but then there is this other female actress who is also equally as good as you. So you have to prove that you want this more than her. Are you willing to go the extra mile?" And I asked, the extra mile, like, and he said, like, because sometimes you have to take off your top. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. Stop right there. I'm not going to continue this interview. I'm just done. So that was the actual motivation for me to move into film and television, with the aim that I was going to learn how to direct and produce my own film so that I could help other creative people, other actors to get roles, to explore their talent or their skills without having to offer certain favors to a producer or director, because it's just not, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, you're
So I
not right.
decided to, yeah, it was just crazy because I kept going, but this, I had had enough. So then I looked for film schools in Ghana. There actually weren't a lot. There were two, one in the main University of Ghana, and there was a private, well, not private, but an actual film school.
Mhm.
So I enrolled, and then I got admission. So I studied directing and a bit of producing from that end. So that was the beginning of it all.
Okay. How long did you stay in this school, film school?
It was a 4-year course. It was a first degree, so
Yep.
I stayed in school for 4 years.
How was the process all about?
Well, the good thing about the school is that the first year is like they give you the chance to learn a bit of everything. So I did a bit of sound, a bit of camera directing, a bit of editing, like a whole lot. And then in the end, we get to also work in teams. You're dedicated to a team. And the interesting thing is that the school was so exclusive that like the entire like student body for a year was about 30. They only admitted 30 students a year. So it's like the whole of level 100, we just won 30. And I think five for each department, directing, editing, and all that. And and there weren't a lot of, we were only five females. So the rest were all males. So you can imagine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you were two director women, and then two camera and one editor. So it was fun, but it was quite challenging because I usually found myself in teams where I was the only female, amongst the males, and sometimes it was such a challenge because it's like they just don't get why they have to take an order, from me as a woman when they're all men or they're all
Yeah.
guys. But it was a nice experience because fortunately I graduated school top of my class,
Mhm.
and my film was my short film, my final year short film was best directing and best storytelling.
Oh,
So
congrats. Cool.
yes, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
And those films are there are student films or
Yes, for
yeah.
those ones, yeah, mostly student films. Yeah.
Okay, 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 right. So and but after this those films,
Mm-hmm.
film school, and so you start directing or producing in the same time. And what was the
Mm-hmm.
first
Right
after
after
school
school.
after school?
Right. Yeah. So you know how it is as a director, it's not that easy after school to break out after school because I mean it's either you, of course, you get a story, but you have to fund it by yourself, and it was quite challenging. So I joined a few television production houses. So I worked there mostly as a script supervisor, not director,
Mm, okay.
and eventually I got the chance to direct a few episodes in one or two series. I did a few short film. I did one personal short film also after school. Actually, fortunately, I got one of some of my mates who were okay to work for almost nothing. We got a cast, crew, everything together, and then we shot it. It was a very small crew, so I managed to shoot one short film. I joined the television production. So I worked mostly after my first short film, I worked mostly as a script supervisor in a lot of films and television sets till I got the chance to direct about two episodes in a TV
Mm.
series.
Yeah, it looks like multitasking because you
Yes,
have
yes,
to
you just
ex-
have to survive
yeah.
because it's not easy as a filmmaker, as a creative. Those who decide to go the traditional path, go become a doctor right after school, they get internships, they just keep moving. But for us, it's like it becomes a freelance, or you work in a production company that doesn't pay as much as a freelance would, but because of stability, you have to take it, and a whole lot of process. But yeah, that was it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so you have to like multitask, and you get
Yeah.
experience.
Yes, multitask, get experience. So I can boast that in terms of working in film and television, I have
Yeah,
a decent amount of experience. Yeah.
cool. All right. Tell me about your last project. How was it? How did you get inspired? Did you only produce it, or did you direct it, or both, maybe?
So my last project, which is still in the editing process, which is still in post production,
Okay.
I got the inspiration when I was actually in school, in before I finished my degree course, and it was a short film, but then because I didn't know how to get funds to shoot it and all that. When I enrolled in my master's program in Portugal, I suggested it to my team again, but then they didn't want it. They didn't like the idea, and I was like, "Hey, my story matters. It's about social issues and all. Why don't you let us explore it?" But they were not up for it. So I decided that okay, then I'm going to make an effort,
Mhm.
finish the script, and then shoot it. So I did the script together. I wrote the script myself together with another script writer,
Mhm.
screenwriter. We worked both hand in hand, and then I hired, because all this the whole process I was in Portugal, and because the film was based in Ghana, it was best to get like a film crew from Ghana, and also I mm, co I spoke to a producer friend of mine now who was up for it. So we started planning the whole process, but then the funds, where to get the funds from, and so I decided to self fund it and just say, you know what, fuck it. To
That's all
say
right. All right.
to say it.
Yeah. We,
You know what? I'm just going to do it because for us as a director producer, the kind of like it's what you do, that sells you. Because if I keep working on other film sets as a script supervisor or any of those, it doesn't really help much because people want to see what you do. So I plan all this ahead of time, try to set up a crew, but I faced so many like obstacles, like usual. And so I contacted a few camera guy, like camera operators, DOPs, but then their price was just outrageous. So when I finished we finished the whole process, and then I went to Ghana.
Mhm.
The I managed to get one of my former colleagues who now owns a film studios, who owns a lot of equipment, like
Mm.
film equipment. So I spoke to him about it, and he was willing to do it, but at a very high fee. So we had to strike a deal that okay, you get this percentage, that then everything worked out. And in the end, my producer decided to just go off on me. Yeah, she changed her mind. She was like, "Hey, Fiona, I like you a lot. I'm really interested in this project, but I have a project that pays more, and I have to do it. I have to take it."
Mm.
So eventually, I didn't have a producer.
But
So
because
now,
some producers they can work on different projects in the same time.
yes, but I think this one, she wasn't, that this project, I don't think she was working on it as a producer. I think she was working on it as an assistant director or something. And
Uh,
with those tasks is very intensive. I mean, I told her that
ah,
hey, we could work around it
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not fair. I've been discussing this with you from the beginning. We've planned everything, and then I come to Ghana, and then you tell me that you're gonna take this job because it pays more. Like, where is the faith in this movie? Because if we want to do something, we have to go all the way.
Mm.
But then I could also understand her, since this this film wasn't something that she was going to earn that much, and of course she has to survive, she has to find a way to
Yeah,
live. So she left the project. So it
yeah.
was hard.
I can imagine because yeah, mentally you have to psychological,
Hmm.
you have to handle it and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to wear this project and
yeah,
to bear
yeah.
this and
It was really tough. So for me, it was like I was back to square one. Like, wow, now I have to find another producer, go through the whole process with the person. It was hard. It was really hard. So eventually, I had to fall onto a friend of mine who had also been doing my like amateur producing. So I
Mhm.
spoke to her about it. She was also my colleague from
Yeah.
my previous university, and she was like, "Okay,
Mhm.
I can help you." And to be
Okay.
honest, I only had a certain like frame time to work to be able to shoot all of that, because I had to come back to
Mm.
Portugal and work on a few other things. So my time was very very limited. So we had to go through the whole like process fast, try to get actors, just 2 days of rehearsals. So honestly, for me, like, it was hard. It was really
Alone.
hard. And sadly,
You
the
were alone, right?
producer,
You were
yeah.
alone, or did you try
No, I
to?
had, yes, of course, I had the producer on my side, but I realized that I ended up doing almost everything.
Okay, yeah, I
You
understand.
know,
Yeah,
because I had the money, so she couldn't distribute them. She couldn't distribute the money the way she was supposed to. So it was I who set up the crew, who
mm,
got everyone, all the equipment, everything involved.
yeah, I can.
And even on the day of the, like, for instance, one of the scenes that we're supposed to shoot in a school, she
Mhm.
was supposed to go find out, like, try to get permission and all that. We went together and everything. She told me, hey, is this okay? It's set, we can go and shoot. And then we get to the like, to the set,
Mhm.
and then the owners of the school are like, nope, nope, we won't let you shoot. Yes.
What happened? Because she supposed to get the permission.
Yes. And she told me she did. She told me she told them, and they said they were okay with it. They were okay with it. But then on that day we were supposed to shoot, they were like, well, the proprietor is not exactly 100% yet, so we have to halt the filming and everything. I was like, wow.
Okay,
Wow.
surprise,
So
surprise.
eventually I had to cut out some scenes. We had to work around it because we had already started shooting some scenes, and it's time, it's money, you know. So
Yeah,
I just
definitely,
had to
definitely.
yeah, do like compromise a lot of improvisations, and
Yeah, sure, sure.
yeah, which in the end wasn't the best for the
Mm,
film, and also like the crew, because I couldn't pay like I couldn't get like very top notch crew.
mm,
There was a bit of this amateurish attitude here
mm,
and there that I had to deal with too. For
mm,
instance, like the DOP was supposed to do the whole thing, and when he started shooting, he wasn't on set. It was his assistant who was doing it, and we had already started shooting. I was like, dude, like, what is it? He's like, oh, but I have it, but I paid you. But
mm-hmm.
it's not exactly the same as the other projects I'm getting. I'm like, you know what? I just can't deal with this. But I can't stop. I can't stop because I've
Yeah,
literally paid, because for every day I have to pay everyone and all that. So let's just do it. So the his assistant was not top. It wasn't a top notch camera, operator, but we
mm,
managed. So I had to direct camera too. Personally, I
okay,
think that the person who was the most professional was the sound lady. She
okay.
did her job very, very well. She was on set on time and everything.
Yeah,
So,
about the sound
yeah,
is really important. It's like
yeah,
50.
yeah. Well, it was a 3 day shoot. So,
Yeah,
and there were days of course, the rain, light,
yeah.
blackouts with no electricity, and
Very boring.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But eventually, it was shot.
Depends on the project, but I think the time for preparation, it's very, very, it matters a
Yes,
lot. It
yes.
depends on the project. You could
Mhm,
maybe 1 year,
mhm,
maybe.
mhm.
Depends maybe the special effects or stuff
Yeah.
like this. But
Mhm.
you need a lot of time. What? Why? Because the permission to get a crew, the casting, and so
Yeah,
on. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was the whole idea. That's why I started the pre-production process with my previous producer,
hmm,
who eventually bailed out on me. So when I went, I had a short time. I had to restart the whole process all over again, and it was almost a disaster. But we still managed to shoot it. And in the end, when I saw the footage, I realized there were so many things that I could have done, differently, or I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have
um,
started the whole process without a producer. Maybe I should have waited, but I was also passionate about
yeah,
shooting this because I didn't know when next I could. So I there were some lessons to be learned.
yeah. Yeah, it's of course you can do better next time, but of course, yeah. It's the process, of course. Depends on your on the budget and the
Yeah,
crew
the
and the
crew.
spirit and the spirit
Yes,
was
the team. And now in Ghana, I think for me, with my experience and also with the projects that I shot in Europe, in Portugal, it's easier to find like creative people here in Europe to collaborate with,
mm,
to be on the project with you and say, hey, you know what? Okay, it doesn't pay much, but I can help you. We can be professional about this. Maybe it can be a lot of days, so we can plan. Even if it's 2 3 days, we are done and
mm.
we're gone. But in Ghana, it's like money. Everything is about money. So it's like
Yeah,
even the young ones who are starting out, they don't want to invest in any new like projects just for their portfolio. They just want money. So it's
okay,
like without the funds, it's
okay.
almost impossible to shoot anything creative in Ghana now.
Even at the beginning in short films they ask money, so because here it's different in Europe. I don't know about the rest of Europe. In France, when you start as a student or whatever, and you're not paid for what you do because it's not budget film, so you do it, it's like you put it on your cv,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
that's it, and you
Yeah.
continue at some point you say no because maybe you mature, You need you're an adult. You need to pay the
Yes,
rent.
of course, but that is understandable. But
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Ghana, that's one of the problems we have with our film industry and the whole like institutions there. Like there isn't any body that gives like funds that even allows creatives to apply for
Mm,
funds. So it's like, well, if you're a filmmaker, you have to almost like shoot the whole project with your own money. And or unless you go to the banks, and the banks, of course, they need to believe that you can pay them back, and it's not everyone they'll give that money to. So there are literally no funds for creative people starting out. So it's like you just have to do it by yourself all the time,
yeah,
and
yeah.
which impacts the films too, because in the end you don't have enough funds to be able to afford essential things that are paramount to the entire film. So it's like in the end most of the films come out like immature-ish, amateurish, and it's just okay. Nothing really special because it doesn't give you the time to go to stretch your creativity
Mm,
to a
mm,
certain level.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I understand. It's the same here in Europe. So you have to figure out different solution to get the financement, and like I said, it depends on the project, and every
Hmm.
project is different,
It's
and
different, yeah. That's true.
you need you need of course a minimum of time to prepare, and of course you want to do it, and you do it, and of course you improved, of course, and over time. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's yeah, yeah. It's, I think that's the game, I think, but
Yeah, it is. It is the
it's a
game, but it's
approach.
harder in Africa. I think in
It's
some parts of
difficult.
Africa, in Ghana, it's really hard because it's non-existent at all. At least here, you could apply to some film funds here and there that you could get some money, but
Yeah,
it's literally impossible.
I
Nothing.
understand. Yeah, sure, sure. Okay, all right. So okay. Wow, we talked a lot of things. Yeah, sure. So okay, let's
Yes.
questions. Good, because we it's all okay. Um, okay, you talked you told me about the equipment.
Mhm.
How did you ask a friend who has a camera, or but you edit yourself, or the video?
So, because my producer was not competent enough, like I said, I had to set up the crew, get equipment, everything. So the DOP, like who was also a former colleague, he
Mm,
has like a film studio, so he has a lot of equipment. So he's the one like I collaborated. So it was more like a collaboration to be able to get most of the equipment from him, although I paid him. Yes, so that is how I managed to get the equipment. And for the camera, it was Black Magic Pocket Cinema
mm,
Pocket. Yeah,
yeah,
6K camera.
good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so currently you're doing the editing,
Yeah,
video editing.
post production, which
So
my editor is working on.
how was the process?
The process has been dragging,
Uh,
if I'm allowed to say, yeah, because right now I'm in France and the editor is in Portugal.
okay.
Although initially he came on the project saying, "Oh, it's okay, we are colleagues and all," so he would do this for almost nothing. I gave him the files in December when I came to France. I went to Portugal, gave him
Hmm.
everything. We started working on it. The idea was to have the first cut by February latest.
Mhm.
So we managed to get the first cut, let's say March, somewhere around March. And then I realized that there were a few other like breather shots that I couldn't get on set. So I contracted someone in Ghana to shoot like a lot of establishing shots and a few other scenes without the actors, and then the person did that, and I submitted to him. And up till now, I haven't received the second draft yet, the second cut yet. And
Okay.
he's always giving me excuses that he has work and he has backache, and I'm like, hey, tell me, it's either you can do this, you will do this or not. If you
Yeah,
want part payment now, just say, just tell me what it is that you want. So I'm just waiting like till the end of this week. If I don't hear anything from him, I think I'll just take the project from him and find another.
Mm.
another
And
editor and
uh,
just complete it. Yeah.
did you set up a deadline or to?
Yes, we always set up deadlines. Like for instance, he was supposed to submit. He at a point he told me he was sick. He had back issues. I said, okay, take your time. But
Okay.
then
Yeah.
we planned the last week Sunday. He was supposed to submit it,
Ah. Okay.
and not yesterday, the previous one Sunday. So you can imagine, and I didn't hear anything, and he was supposed to send it yesterday, nothing. So I was just about to text him and say, dude, like, it's too much. You understand? We have to, as
Yeah.
filmmakers, we have to help ourselves, because the truth is, the first cut is good, so just it's not much.
Not much. Yeah.
It has to go through a lot of processes. So the ones that, it's just a few establishing shots that he just has to insert here and there. It's not something,
But I
crazy that he can't do like in an hour and say, okay, you know what, I'm just sitting like this. I'll just do this, and then he won't be able to do it.
maybe there's no special effects or plugins. Maybe.
No, not yet. For now, it's just the first, like the
Ah.
second
Okay.
cut,
Okay.
the
First draft.
raw second cut.
Okay. So,
Yes, even
okay.
before we get into the the special effect, before he gets into sound and all the other
Yeah. That's not
departments
difficult.
it has to go through. Yeah, and right now I'm also like, it's also because I'm not paying him. I couldn't afford to pay him the actual, but the truth is, he just told me that I was going to help you with this project. You don't need to. It's not about money. It's not about anything. But now I know that no, it doesn't work. Even with friends, even with colleagues, I have to pay them. Even if they say no, I don't want. It's better to pay them, because for him, I think it's all part of it. That maybe he has his other jobs that he does, so it's like, well, this, I'm just helping you out. But I told him that, dude, just
Yeah.
let's finish this and I'll make it up to you, like in a big way.
Mm.
Let's just finish this project as a team, and
So,
then we'll proceed. So
so you don't know the reason basically why.
well, he keeps saying, well, he works, he has his 8 to 9 job,
Okay.
which is like he just watches videos on TikToks or something like that.
Mhm. Ah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's that. So I understand that, of course, it also takes time and everything, but he has the weekend, he
Yeah.
has
But
after work.
yeah. Sure. Sure.
It's
But
been a
you
while.
he has to manage the paid ones video
Yes,
and the other
yes,
one unpaid, and
yes,
you handle it. You
exactly.
just
So for
need.
me as a director, I don't think I want to work with him in the future.
Mm.
Sometimes these are the little attitudes that we express during filming processes, and then you don't understand
Yeah.
why I won't come to you again for your
Yeah.
services. So
Mm.
because you didn't even take this one seriously.
Yeah. I
So,
understand.
so far I just have a first cut from December. Like
Some,
how? It hasn't
okay.
even been through like a process sound or anything. Like
Okay. Yeah. I understand. It's yeah. Which is important, the chemistry between the people in the crew cast, because if you want to still work with the same person, you have to evaluate the chemistry between them, you
yeah.
and there is someone on the set or in production or pre-production as well, and it's about caring about the whole project. If everything is fine, like is it's running smoothly or stuff like this. I don't remember the name of this position. It's like production manager. No, I don't think so.
Who?
Who is make sure everything is running smoothly.
Well, on a big set, it's usually the assistant director. Like if it's
Yeah,
just like within terms, because assistant director has to make sure that everyone is on set at the same time. Director has everything is going on. But behind that is the production manager. Yes.
because I've heard like they send someone from the studio
Hmm.
make sure everything is good, is okay.
Yeah, it's the line producer.
The line producer. Okay, 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 right. So this one, he has to make sure that all chemistry is all right because and no delay on
Mm-hmm.
set. Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
All that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
That's
Let
the
me see
difference.
another question. Okay, we talked about the sound, which is uh, okay, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, for
and
the sound record, yeah, yeah. She
uh,
did an amazing job.
okay. Tell me, she about the music as well. She
Well, she's not the one doing the music.
okay.
Yes, she just did the on-set recording, and I have a professional colleague of mine who is going to do the um, post-production sound and then music. There's another guy who will take care of the music.
Okay, okay. All
Mm.
right. Can you tell me about the light?
The
The lighting?
lighting. Ah, yes. Hmm, lighting. Where do I start from?
I don't know. Did you
So,
have
for
some, I
me,
don't know, some day or night scenes, or maybe I don't
well,
know.
they're mostly day scenes because I know that it's hard to control, nights, especially if you don't have actual professionals who want to do that. And
Mm,
also for the crew and for the number of days that we're shooting, I didn't want it to be too tough. So I managed to write the script in such a way that there were more day scenes than night scenes. And even the night scenes, I think most of them were interior. So it was something we could even shoot during the day. We
mm,
just cover the windows and all that. And the initial idea of the film was to try and utilize daylight,
okay.
more daylight. But on set, I realized that the camera operator wasn't too conversant with that. And so I
Mm.
had to control the light.
As well.
Yes, as well. So imagine I had to direct camera and do the lighting myself too. So I managed because those the days that I wasn't too exhausted, I
Mm,
managed to set up the lights, the foreground, background, all those ones in the right position. But there was this particular scene that
mm.
after on the bench, I was like, damn, I just needed one light here for the face. But you see, if I had a professional like DOP, or a
Mm.
gaffer, he could have
Yeah.
said, no, this scene, we need a light there. But I was so exhausted because I had to direct, I had to produce and do all that.
I
Yeah.
can imagine. I can imagine. I don't know the catering, but the food, stuff like this. How do you?
Yes. I think for the food, that was the only thing that the producer took care of very well.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the so the rest of it, even sometimes, even with the food, I had to even still be on her and say, hey, why, the food is not here? It has to be here at this time. While I'm also thinking, so I couldn't get the time to process to even some of the shots. Like we get to the set and I'm so exhausted. I'm like, you know what? With
It
the
was.
crew or what? Yeah, we just have to just do the
Yeah.
best I can. Like not go too crazy, and let's just get
Yeah.
this.
Sure. Sure.
Let's just get this done.
It
So
was
the
only.
lighting I managed, but
Yeah.
I
So
could
it
have
was
been better.
only 3 days of shooting, right?
Only 3 days of shooting, so you can imagine. And it was
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. We were shooting about 6 or 7 scenes a day.
Yeah. It's very productive.
Yeah, 6 or 7 scenes
Very
because I
efficient.
couldn't
Yeah.
afford to stretch it more than that because I was paying everyone per day. So
Okay.
that is why. So I'm sure if I had my previous producer, like we could have planned this in such a way that we just do this, that, and we are gone. Even if it's 6, 7 scenes. Once we know the shots, once we know the position. Even I forgot to tell you this.
Yeah.
On the day of shoot,
Uh huh.
one of the rooms we were supposed to use as the main film like room scene was not available.
Another one. Another. Huh? Who's supposed to? Ah, you're.
The producer told me that she was, like everything was ready, everything was ready, but then not knowing she had to contact someone who had the key. So
Mm,
so we had to change. We had to
change. Yeah.
change the whole thing to change plans. So we had to shoot that scene the next day. So which added more pressure. So and even then I couldn't see the room till the day we started shooting. So it was also hard for me creatively where to position the cameras and all that, the lights and all that. I was like, wow.
Wow. No picture. No nothing. You can. You can.
No, because the room belonged to someone who was not actually living there at that time. But then she said she lived in another town or something. So the producer couldn't get a photo of the room, but she said she was willing to give the key. But to get the key, it took so long, and without the key I couldn't see the room. And then the days were going fast. Every day I'll ask her, don't
Mm,
we have the key? She says, oh no, not yet. I'm like, how am I supposed to go to a set when I don't even know how the room looks like?
Mm.
And it was too late to find another room, because of course I have to pay, and there's the dynamics of the room and everything.
All right.
So yeah, we just had to make do.
Yeah,
I just had to make do a lot of
yeah,
things.
definitely. Yeah, because
Yeah, yeah,
you go crazy otherwise.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so yeah. Yeah. So you just told me different experience, different anecdotes. Do you have more, maybe?
Yes, I do. I always have more, because it's like there's just one thing that you think, oh, it's going right, and then finally, you're like, damn, what are we supposed to do now? Now we can't shoot in the school. When we are on set, we are ready to roll.
Mm,
How
mm,
do we deal with it? So for that, I had to change the scenes to the front of the school.
yeah, yeah. A
Just
lot
to
of things. A lot of things.
that.
Okay, okay. Okay. The next one is so you always wanted to do this job, right?
Yes,
So,
yes, I am very passionate about it. Something I still want to
like,
pursue to the end. If
do
I
you
can.
have to get another job, a day job, or do you
Well,
make
for now,
living?
it looks like it,
Yeah.
because now I've moved to France because my husband lives here, and it's not that easy, to break through in industries like that, especially in France, because the language barrier is one of the major things. So I've been studying French, trying to improve it. But at the end of the day, when you get to set and films and TV sets, they usually work with people they already know. Once they have someone who is good at this, they keep the person. And so there really isn't a lot of chances to penetrate. It's just a few ones you could find from here and there. And in France, it's very close. Like, if you don't know someone who knows someone, it's very hard. And there aren't a lot of projects that come out, every week or 2 weeks or something that I could just jump onto. So for now, I've started searching, but it's not hard. So in the meantime, I think I'll just get a regular job whilst I keep
Mm,
searching hard to get something to do.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. Even me, working as a day job, having a day job. So
Mhm.
some people have a day job and they can I don't know, playing football on the weekend.
Yeah,
Us making films,
yeah,
making
yeah,
films.
yeah,
It's
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
so we
yeah.
try to make do. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
yes, that's what I do. So, one of the things I plan to do is, here there's like the few film events they have around in Marseille.
Mm.
There's one called Kino Father. I don't know if you know about it. You've heard of it?
No, no.
Kino Father. Okay, apparently they're around Belle de Mer area, and then what they do is like every 2 months or 3 months, it's like they find small film crews to shoot a short film or something in a field, like with the very limited resources that they have,
Mm.
and then they screen it. So I think the next session is in September, like 12th or 13th or something.
You,
So
you
I'll
said
go there
you said
and
kino,
hopefully
right? Kino something.
Kino Father,
Okay, kino
Kino, and
is
then Father,
kino in
FADA.
German. So it's like a competition. You have to do it in
It's
a
like
day,
a
day
competition.
time.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So you do it by yourself with a limited resources. So you just find a crew,
yeah.
fast. You shoot, and then they screen.
Mm.
And I
Okay.
think in the end,
One
select
is
the best.
in 48 hours, something like this.
Yeah, the film 48 Hours. I actually participated in one when I was in Lisbon.
Yeah,
The film that I worked on was
Yeah,
second.
Lisboa. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Lisbon.
Eh, Lisbon. Ah, okay. So yes, 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 yes.
So I've heard like in America, I've heard of this kind of competition for 8 hours or I don't know, kino something, and
Yes.
they try to set up this thing and then to screen it, and this is the yeah. You
Yeah.
have to be resourceful because
Yes, because
they
the idea of those films is they usually don't give you anything. No, not much budget, like nothing. It's just a few of them that may have just a little budget for you, but mostly you end up doing yourself. You have to do within 24 48 hours.
Hmm,
So you have to gather the crew. So you see, with these things, you can't pay people to
sure.
do it, because it's just something you just sit down, use a few hours to come up with a storyline and everything. Find people who say, "Hey, I'll help you shoot it. I'm passionate about this." Because if not, it's
Yeah,
impossible. Yeah.
yeah, it's very fast, very fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so in the meantime, I'll just get a day job
yeah, yeah.
and then be
Perfect.
exploring other things. Still trying to work on the post production of my short film
Yeah.
to finish. Let me see.
About the your short films, did you use the crowdfunding? Maybe.
No, I actually haven't tried the crowdfunding yet, but for
Mhm.
my next project, I will do that. I'll
Yeah.
definitely do that. Yes, because I see a lot of success stories with the
Mhm.
crowdfunding thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
that would be my next move.
Okay.
And you, have you tried it?
No, no, but I was interested about how in how they do that, how to present it. It's a lot of work. It's
Yes, it's a lot. Of course, this is a lot of work. Sometimes
you
it's
know,
good to have a proof of concept. So you have to shoot something, images to convince people, a whole treatment, like
pictures and
details. Is a lot, but it's worth it. If you can, because some people manage to get 10, 20,000, 30,000,
but
which can
what
help.
I noticed, it's a new project. It's hard to get the finance, and the popular ones projects, the like I don't know, like a series. So
Yeah,
they established something,
yeah,
and they're popular among the fans,
yeah.
the audience, so they can get easily
Yeah,
found.
yeah. Sometimes it's just about. So if you're starting, you before you can get, you need to have a convincing
Mhm.
project, like to say,
Ah,
hey, I'm
mm,
doing this. Because if not,
yeah,
it's really hard. But the interesting thing, Shukri,
yeah,
these days I hear a lot when people go through this, personal disasters or natural disasters, whatever it is, they create a GoFundMe.
yeah.
And they
GoFundMe.
get, they get as much as 100,000
Yeah,
just to take care of themselves.
it's
And
it's
I'm
a,
like,
uh,
wow.
yeah. Because it's a different topic. It's about
Is
people, saving
yeah,
people. Making film is like secondary. It's like okay, it's not it's not a priority. And I understand. So
like,
then
wow. Sometimes it baffles me. I'm like, I need me some of that money to be able to shoot, some of my projects that I want to.
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Because
Yeah.
how? 200,000, 100,000, go fund me. And sometimes you see that is within a couple of days or a week or
You
so.
know what? You can do like a two in one. You can go find me like use this one, and you can help people in the first phase, and the second phase make a movie about it.
I don't know. I think I told you the last time that I want to explore documentaries because documentaries are one of the best ways to also get funds because it's also when you want to talk about a topic that is actually real and is happening at the same time, and the topic, if it's a very sensitive one that people
Yeah,
can, relate to or something, it's easy for people to say, hey, you know what, take this. Let's know about this topic that is, happening, or this issue
yeah,
that is happening here and there and all that. So I think that my next project will be a documentary.
yeah. I think it's suitable because on this
Mm-hmm.
kind of project, it's
Mm-hmm.
something, it's real, a real thing, and you
Yes.
want to talk about it in a medium like the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more suitable than a fiction.
Yeah, 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 it is. And it's easier for companies and NGOs to just say, hey, we give you this money. We want you to talk about this project. Especially once they see that you have good projects that you've shot beautifully and everything. It's easy for them to just give you the money and say, okay, take this and just do this. Take this and just do that. But
And
and also with documentaries, you don't need a big crew. You
no,
see?
no, no, no. You can
No.
travel. You can travel with the
Yes.
with the sound engineer
Yes.
yourself, and
Yes.
you need like I don't know. You need to have some knowledge about the
Yes.
lights, the sound,
Yes. 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 Yes.
minimum, and you're
Yes.
good.
Mom. Yes.
And you have a computer video editing, and you can try stuff. Okay, it's good, it's not bad. Have to redo
Yeah,
the
yeah, 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 yeah. I think now we are more towards documentaries till I'm at a point where I say, okay, I want to do this fiction, like feature fiction
mm, mm,
film, because for me as a filmmaker, my main passion is to talk about films that have a social impact,
mm.
which seeks to tell deep human stories and connect
yeah,
to also show the problems we have in
yeah,
the society and all that. And those things are really good when they're in documentaries. What do you
yeah.
agree?
It's intemporal.
Yeah,
Talking about the people, about the issues, social issues. So
social issues. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Did you try? Did you experience film festivals?
Yes, I have. I have. My first major experience with a film festival was in Egypt. It's
Okay.
Luxor Film Festival. It's nice. I like the whole process and the workshops and all that. And I also participated in one in Lisbon for women and all that. So yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. 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 Yeah. It's
Also in Ghana,
uh,
there are a few other film festivals that I always took part. Some of my films went to a few of them. I had to talk about it in front of everyone. We had
yeah.
to share ideas and all that. Yeah,
You,
film
you,
festivals
you
are way
do you
too.
think it's good for filmmakers to attend it, to attend the film festival?
Yes, yes, yes. It depends. I mean, if it's so long as it's a really good and organized
Mm,
film festival, because there are some that are just not worth going. But
yeah.
for film, because it's a good way to to network with
Yeah.
other creatives. So you could find a producer who is in the UK or who is in Finland who wants to co-produce something with you, a sound person who is from Nepal, or it's a really good atmosphere, good ambience for creatives to just come together and find really interesting things to do together. But especially for collaboration and networking, I really uh, encourage people to attend filmmakers to attend film festivals. Because it also gives you opportunity. Once your film is selected in the finals,
Yeah.
it's a good exposure.
Yeah.
It's very good
Definitely.
exposure,
Sure.
yeah,
To
for
get
young.
a new project after that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Because right with that, once someone sees your film that is good, you get approached by someone who an executive producer, someone who says, "Hey, okay, let's do this." So
Okay. Yeah. All right. Nowadays, with the technology nowadays, someone can buy a computer and buy a camera with
mhm.
and with the computer video editing, and they can this person can start to do a film. And do you think it's positive, negative, or do you think this is the future of cinema?
Well, honestly, I don't. I think that kind of filmmaking is here to stay. Because the truth of the matter is that it's not easy to find funds to produce a movie, and it's not easy to convince people to give you money to say just do this. So if you're passionate about it, for those who are passionate about it, if they want to do it, why not? Because sometimes it starts from there. You start with a small camera, with a computer, you shoot something, it might not have the best quality,
Mm,
because at the end of the content is very important. Once you manage to do that, and some big producers see it, they could say, oh, well, we like this concept, maybe we could give you even bigger money to shoot something actually professional, something bigger. So for me, I think it's good. We should allow it for people, to explore their talents in whichever way, their skills, everything, whichever way that they can. It's just that for me, sometimes for some of us who go to the film school, it's like we are being told like we are being told to shoot films with a certain type of quality. So sometimes it's hard for us to just say, okay, I'm taking my phone to shoot something, because at the end of the day, you're like, "Ah, well, the quality will that be good as But we have to break all those stereotypes.
the light,
Yes, the line you have to, yes, in this frame, you have to position the the character has to be in the center of frame, low angle, high angle shots, the light has to do this, camera, like it's a whole.
all all of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes it cripples, like some people, and then those who are like, you know what, I don't care. I have a passion for this. I want to do this. Why not? just go ahead and do it. And
Yeah.
apparently, I don't know if you heard about it, but someone told me that there were these two Asians in Marseille who were actually students at no, maybe not Destination Lang, but Aix-en-Provence, one of the
Okay.
film schools there. And they started making short films or something like that about their life in Marseille. Apparently, they put it on YouTube or something, and it was so successful. They went to Cannes or something like that.
Yeah.
Just two Asians. Yeah, I'll now after this, I think I'll just search about them and see.
Yeah. Send me after that. Yeah. No worries.
If I send, I'll send it to you. Yes, two Asians who came to live in Marseille, and
Yeah.
then now they get a chance to go to Cannes and.
Yeah. Put another
But
project.
they didn't start out with like a professional cameras and all those things. It's just said, okay, we have this camera. It's just us a day, and a life
Yeah.
and an Asian in Marseille.
Mm. You just need to be creative.
Yes,
You
you
can-
just need to, and also be consistent and just say, you know what, I'm doing this, whatever, whether it's good or bad, it's something I want to do. So let me just do it, and also put it out there,
yeah.
because it's when you put it out there that people get to see, and you're like, okay, because of course there are people who say, ah, this is shit, this is crap, but there are other people who'd follow. The next thing you know, you're going places, and now you get a chance to actually have the funds, the budget for a bigger
Okay.
project.
Can you tell me about the cinema, the current cinema, maybe in France, maybe in Ghana, maybe the global cinema? What do you think about it?
Well, hmm. In France, I don't have much knowledge about it. I'm new here, so I'm yet to explore the cinema here, but at least I've seen some French films that I like a lot. And now when I go to the cinemas, it's interesting to see some independent films that actually make it to the main cinemas, so which is good. However, for me, if I want to talk about film on an international level, usually it's Hollywood. Is the influx of these films with the franchise films like Marvel, DC Comics, Joker. They have Joker 1, 2, 3. Like all these remakes, all the like this money they use for these films. Meanwhile, there are other stories, like proper stories that could benefit, the entire nation. Of course, it's not just about knowing social issues; it's also about entertainment.
Hmm.
But I think it's just too. It's becoming too much, and everything visual effects, everything visual effects. It's like it takes away the human side of filming, because that's why sometimes you can't compare the current films with the first time, like the prehistoric like films and all that, because those days they weren't using a lot of effects, but they were making sure they were shooting like with the sun, like everything with the story was just good. But now it's just too much of VX. We have to use it when it's necessary, as some people do. But then when it comes to Hollywood, like the Marvels, and so these days, I'm not a big fan. Like I don't go to the cinema to watch any of those things. And I think it's ridiculous. Although I understand the producers, because of course people know that it works. It always works most often because they're fans of Marvel, DC, who wants to know the next Joker, who wants to, so all that. But honestly, it's sad that they have to keep using this amount of money instead of giving it to exploring other sectors of filmmaking, giving it to people like other filmmakers who could shoot something good with just even less than half of the budget.
Uh,
Because these days the budget Hollywood
Crazy.
is crazy. Like actors taking about 10, 20 million,
Yeah.
for a movie. Then so talk about the cast, the crew, everyone else.
Mm. Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, that's just that. But I'm more drawn towards UK films from the UK, because they don't work a lot with VX.
Mhm.
So but their stories, the way the structure, the way their style of storytelling, it's quite compelling. So I'd like to have a chance to work with some producers there too. Yeah.
Talking about the opportunity to work, can you tell me which, if you have the opportunity to work with someone, who could it be?
Hmm. So if I had the chance to work with someone now, I'll choose a film and a British filmmaker, a film director, film producer called Ama Asante. I don't know if you've heard of her.
I've
I
heard
don't
of
think so.
this name, but no. What is the film? What are the films?
Let me see. The most current what the film that she's known for
Yeah,
is Ama Asante. Yes, British filmmaker. Have you heard of Belle? Have you heard of Belle, or have you seen a movie called Belle?
Bell,
You can
Bell,
check. Yes, she did a United Kingdom
Ama,
too,
Ansah? No.
where hands touch. Those are the three main ones that she's done. Like the Belle, especially. Wow, it was a period film that she directed. For me, she's an inspiration because Ama Asante, like originally is a Ghanaian name, so I'm sure her ancestors, yes,
Ah, okay, okay.
were Ghanaians once, before she moved to the UK, but she's British.
Hmm.
And then when I watch a film like that, it inspires me because I like historic period films, and the way she tells her stories, like in Belle, is just magnificent. It's just my dream to be able to direct a film like that. And I've been following her, seeing how she works on set and all,
Hmm.
and it's really, really inspiring. So yes, I would say Ama Asante. As it would be nice to be an honor to work with her.
Okay. Um,
And
yeah. And you,
and let me see, in America, Grand Budapest Hotel. Wes Anderson. Yes, he's also one director that. Yes, for me, the female is Amma Asante. The male is Wes Anderson. I love like the compositions in his films, the lights, the colors, the movements. Ah, la 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 la. It's just brilliant. You've
yeah, yeah,
seen with the Grand Budapest Hotel, right?
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yes,
And
yes.
I remember there's a one shot. Is like there's a big hotel, right?
Mhm. Yes.
See it in front. It looks like a cake, a big cake.
Yes. It's
Huh?
like there's so much that goes into like planning like the film, like lines. He just la 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 la.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson. It's amazing.
It
Yeah.
visually is great,
Yeah,
great.
visually it's just amazing.
Even the stories, is
Yeah, of course. Yeah, even the stories, you know,
yeah, definitely.
because now more and more like with these guys, it's sad. Like with him, Quentin Tarantino, and all these people now, it's like they're getting older, and now we have a lot of new generation people who are more interested in VFX and in like in horrendous proportions. But
Hmm.
these are filmmakers. Before they shoot something, everything is planned, and they take like everything has a connotation. The sets, the light, the colors of this, the like everything.
Costumes as well.
Costumes, yes, yes. And for costumes and sets, I like Tim Burton too.
Ah,
I mean,
yes,
he's more in the dark
yeah,
fantasy kind of
fantasy,
filmmaking, but I like Tim Burton too.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's one of the best
Yes,
yeah,
of course, Tim Burton. Ah, la 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 la.
yeah, good. Tell
And
me,
you, if you get a chance, to work with a filmmaker, makers, which one
filmmaker Tim
wants to be?
Burton, of course,
Tim
and
Burton.
yeah,
Yes,
the
yes.
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Yes,
Yes,
except I didn't like Tenant.
Tenant. Yeah, it's like for me, it's like so. It's like
Yeah, yeah. I
what
actually
the
remember walking out of the cinema at a
huh?
point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I was watching Tenet,
Tell
I walked out of the cinema because at a point, first of
me.
all, I didn't think the main actor was
Mm,
good enough. I don't. Denzel Washington's son. There's just something about him.
Ah,
That
it's
just doesn't.
the son of Denzel Washington.
Yes, the son. Yes, he's the son of Denzel Washington. You knew that, right?
Yeah, it's called, I don't remember, Thomas or something.
Something. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember.
I
Sorry.
also don't remember exactly. Like I was saying,
Yeah.
I've seen him in a couple of films, and his there's just something about him that just doesn't fit. So seeing him in Tenant, and
Mm,
there wasn't a wow moment factor for me. So at a
yeah.
point I was like, no, what, I can't deal with this. So I just walked out of this. I think it's one of the few times that I've walked out of a cinema watching a film like that. But of course, apart from Tenet, he's done all these other amazing films and all. Because sometimes, so as you go old, you try to try something new, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because
Mm,
I watched this film with Al Pacino, the one that it was like 3 hours. I've forgotten who the
uh,
director was.
really?
Yeah, it
I
was
don't.
on Netflix for a while. I've forgotten, so it's
It's a
very
good.
long. I've forgotten who it was, and if I remember, I'll let you know. But
That's all right. That's all right.
yes, yes, I also watched one recent film of one of those very big film like
Mm,
directors, but it wasn't as
mm.
good as their previous ones. But it happens, it can't always
Yeah,
be
of course.
perfect.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
all
Yeah,
the
and,
time.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, but it's one of the best because uh, uh, over time he has this footprint on
Mhm,
films,
mhm,
and the story you can see on the Dark Knight trilogy.
mhm. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
what is it called? Inception as well.
Yes, oh my God, Inception was brilliant.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
crazy. It was brilliant. It was like Tenet was almost like that, but it's just Tenet was just okay. But
Yeah,
Inception,
yeah,
top notch. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So he's amazing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Christopher
definitely,
Nolan is one of the very
definitely.
good film directors, producers out there.
Yeah. Okay, all right. What do you wish in the short, mid, and long run for you?
For my
Like
career, like as
the
a
short
film.
run, like a term, short term, mid term.
Well, for now, my short term goal
Yeah.
is to finish my short film, as much as possible. Try to make sure that it's good enough, and then I can submit them into film festivals like yours and all these other ones. And long term, my long term goals or wish is to have the chance to work on very big production sets. I would very much like that experience. And but aside that, personally, I'm looking at becoming one of the important filmmakers in Africa and in the rest of the world, as very established, and as someone who has done a lot of like
Yeah.
good projects that talk for itself, projects that actually has an impact on the society.
As a, assistant director or
No,
or
as a director,
as a director?
as a producer, yes, and as a director and as a producer.
Yeah.
So one or two, a few projects, very good projects I've directed, and a few like good projects that I've produced too. So whichever way, because for me, I want to rest between directing and producing. So I
Mm.
produce some projects and then I direct some projects.
Okay. 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 So you tell me the short, mid, and long run. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
just it.
Cool. All right. Do you have some tips for the newcomer filmmakers?
Uh, Well, some tips for for upcoming filmmakers. First, of course, you need a passion, and once you're passionate about something, just go for it. Like we discussed earlier, it's okay if you can't afford to buy like the best camera. Just use your phone. You can start with your phone. You can start with your friends, shoot stuff, get the simplest editing software, edit it, and just put it out there. You never know how far it goes. But apart from all that, you have to always be diligent in your work. Whenever you're tasked to do something, do it the best possible. Do it in the best possible way. Like just give it your all, and then keep reading, keep researching, keep watching films, and try and make sure you have a niche, a special style that you can be related to in your films, because the footprints are very, very, very important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I think having some resourceful people around you can help the project. Uh,
Yes, having resource. Yes, yes, of course. We'll go. They go to film festivals, connect with people and all. But sometimes when you don't have the chance, like I said, you just put it out there, and then someone would see it and then contact you,
yeah.
because with
Definitely.
that, once you're being contacted, you have something. It's easier for people to say, hey, okay, I want to work with you now, and it's not you going to look for people and you're like, what have you done with, I don't know.
Yeah.
But oh, you, yes, I've seen this. Oh, yes, yes, of course, yes, let's work. And even that way, it's easier for them to reduce. Even if you don't have the full budget, they could say, okay, I can work for you for this amount. Usually I don't, but for you I will.
Yeah.
And so it's good to do, like, once you have an idea, something you want to do, just do it. You never know where it takes you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because passion is not enough. It's not just about passion. Of course, we all have passions, but you have to
Of
work towards it.
course, you need
Yeah.
passion to start, and then you need some skills to
So you
improve.
develop it and it grows. Yes,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to keep working on it, make mistakes. Yes, you make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's okay to make mistakes, but it's all part of the learning process.
Okay. Which movie or series looks like you?
Wow. What a question. I've never really thought about it. Which series or film looks like me? Hmm. It's hard to answer because I've seen a lot of films. I have some films that I love, but I don't know if they look at me. If they look like
Yeah.
me. Some series that I've seen, I don't know if they look like me. Um, Honestly, I can't really tell
That's all right.
which films.
That's
That's
all right.
I'm
If you,
sorry. I'm sorry because I have to now think about it, because I've never had this
no,
question
okay, no
before.
worries.
It's like out of the blue, but now I'll start looking. I'll say,
Now
wait,
start
this film.
looking.
Yes, now I'll start paying attention to that, because I know that I can be asked a question like that. Which film or series looks like me,
Okay.
or like has the
It's a
like.
good question.
Yeah,
Is it?
it is. Yes, yes, it actually is. It
Yeah.
actually is. But off the top of my head, one film that maybe I can say looks like me, or like I am into it, is Amelie.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Amélie Poulain. Yes.
Yes, is you know, like, for because I remember in school I used to be that director who liked uh like a bit. I was a bit abstract. And
Okay.
then I was always told, no, 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 you don't have to be too abstract. You don't have to be too abstract. But then Amelie, when I see it, I'm like,
Right.
yes, yes, it's a film that actually draws like me into it.
Good choice.
Yeah. You've seen Amelie too, right?
Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
I have it on
yes.
TV. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, you have it on DVD?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
bought it like years ago.
yeah.
And
Amelie is one of the best French classics. Like, wow.
hmm,
It's I love it. That it's like a silence with music, like sound, and it all just works perfectly with characters and the editing, the shots, and it's a film that it's like you just keep watching and you're just soaked into that world. You want to be a part of it, but it's like you're in, you're out. You don't know, but it's just brilliant. So yes, I'll say Amelie. Yeah, I think if anything, it's more about promoting, my short film, and my personal like profile in LinkedIn.